African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of November 18, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Units of the North Troop Group inflicted damage on formations of 3 mechanized, infantry, airborne assault brigades and an assault regiment of the armed forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements Alexivka, Unikovka, Magritsa, Ivalsanskoye, and Novaya Sek of the Sumy region. The settlement of Tsegelnoye in the Kharkiv region was liberated. The armed forces of Ukraine lost up to 115 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, 12 vehicles, 2 electronic warfare stations, and 7 supply depots. Units of the West Troop Group improved their position along the front line. Damage was inflicted on personnel and equipment of 5 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 territorial defense brigades, and a National Guard brigade in the areas of the settlements Monikanovka, Velikaya Shapkovka, Nechvolodovka, Starovorovka of the Kharkiv region and Drobashevo of the Donetsk People's Republic. In the area of the settlement Kupyansk of the Kharkiv region, assault detachments of the 6th Army continue to destroy encircled formations of the armed forces of Ukraine. During the day, an attempt by a unit of the 125th Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine to conduct a counterattack in the area of the settlement Blagodatevka of the Kharkiv region to break the encirclement ring was thwarted. The enemy lost up to 10 militants. In addition, as a result of fire damage, up to 50 servicemen, 3 pickups, a British-made 105mm L-119 howitzer, and 5 electronic warfare. Units of the South Troop Group took more advantageous lines and positions. Damage was inflicted on formations of 4 mechanized, mountain assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Seversky, Slavyansk, Stepanovka, Konstantinovka, and Vasyokhovka of the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost more than 70 servicemen, 5 armored combat vehicles including 2 of Western manufacture, 16 vehicles, and 2 artillery pieces. An electronic warfare station, 5 ammunition, fuel, and supply depots were destroyed. Units of the Center Troop Group have improved their tactical position. They inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of 6 mechanized, infantry, ranger, assault, 2 airborne assault brigades, 2 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, 2 Marine brigades, a territorial defense brigade, and 3 National Guard brigades in the areas of the settlements Belitskoye, Rodinskoye of the Donetsk People's Republic, Novoalexandrovka, and Mezovaya of the Dnipropetrovsk region. In the settlement of Krasnoarmysk of the Donetsk People's Republic, assault groups of the 2nd Army continue to destroy encircled formations of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the Central Microdistrict, in the western part of the Gornyak Microdistrict, as well as in the territory of the Western Industrial Zone. 6 attacks were repelled by units of the 32nd Mechanized Brigade and the 425th Assault Regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine from the area of the settlement Grishino. Units of the East Troop Group advanced deep into the enemy's defense and liberated the settlement of Nechivka in the Dnipropetrovsk region. Damage was inflicted on formations of 2 mechanized, 2 assault brigades, 3 assault regiments of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and 2 territorial defense brigades in the areas of the settlements Guliapol, Vozvezevka of the Zaporizhia region, Kolomytsi, and Gerasimovka of the Dnipropetrovsk region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 350 servicemen, an armored combat vehicle, and 7 vehicles. Units of the Dnieper Troop Group inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of a mechanized brigade, a coastal defense brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a territorial defense brigade in the areas of the settlements Orkhov, Primorskoye of the Zaporizhia region, Berislav, and Kazatskoye of the Kherson region. Up to 80 servicemen, For armored combat vehicles including a US-made M113 armored personnel carrier, 18 vehicles, 7 electronic warfare stations, 3 ammunition depots, and 2 supply depots were destroyed. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian armed forces troop groups inflicted damage on energy and railway infrastructure facilities of Ukraine used in the interests of the armed forces of Ukraine, a military echelon with armored vehicles, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 153 areas. Air defense means destroyed 3 guided aerial bombs and 206 airplane-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the beginning of the special military operation, destroyed 668 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 97,303 unmanned aerial vehicles, 636 anti-aircraft missile systems, 26,086 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,613 multiple launch rocket systems, 31,381 field artillery and mortars, 46,993 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.